Hey, happy day, child to grown up. When I grow up, I want to be a socialist. Parent, you can't do both. Y'all gotta pick one. I am a socialist drinker. The bartender chuckled and asked me, what do you mean, a socialist drinker? Hey, you mean a social drinker? I said, no. I said, I only drink when somebody else buys, when somebody else pays. That would pretty much describe it. Hey, social media companies, here's an interesting story for you. This program, rightedition.com, we have a big reach, right? Millions of people watch our show, but just the other day, I had a bored moment, nothing to do, so I picked the phone up after I went to duckduckgo.com and I looked for social media companies in various cities, and I found some. I thought, you know what, maybe we can kick our game up. We've got all of that handled, but it's always good to talk to other people. So I did that. Hello, this is Brian. Please check out rightedition.com. Can you do anything to enhance our business model? To a person, I phoned 3 of them because it became a test, right? To a person, they said, we don't do stuff that's political. I said, but you just did. You just chose a side. No. Hey, I said, well, what if I'm a Mormon? I don't drink coffee and you advertise coffee with regards to being on social media. You'll do that, but you won't promote right-wingism, but you probably do left-wingism. Oh, no. And I said, well, I think you do, actually. I mean, come on. But that's the new rules, right? Hollywood's come to town. It's kind of shocking, actually. New York City. New York is under siege. It's a goofy place. I mean, it's upside down. And one interesting thing is that you never hear. This is about President Trump. He's a huge business owner and property owner in the city. The guy is losing zillions, right? Zillions. But he doesn't complain, and he's running the country. Just an interesting thing. And I've noticed that no Democrat ever says, oh, I'm so bad. This is so sad and bad for the president. Or they should be happy even, and nobody talks about it. Just an interesting sidebar there. Now, the mayor has announced his entire office, because New York is in a shambles, including himself. He will furlough his pay for 1 week. Okay, I think you should just fire yourself. That would be better. But he says, I'm going to do a furlough. What does that mean? But anyway, what it really means is that his salary of almost $260,000 a year, if you take a week off it, it's almost $5,000 for a week's salary, and he's going to give that up just because he's a nice guy, okay? And New York City in the U.S., loses hundreds of billions of dollars as wealth as the rich are fleeing the state. And here's this idiot who says, I'll throw in $5,000. 90% of all the restaurants have closed. I'll throw in $5,000. New York City's top 1% of wage earners pay more than 50% of all the taxes in New York. And this guy just doesn't know how to deal with it, and he wonders why everybody's leaving. There's no money for regular trash pickup, to maintain city parks, and so many other things in New York. And yet his wife, who has nothing to do with politics, or shouldn't have, really. She is the first lady of the city, I guess. I get it. But nobody voted for her. She has a staff of 14. One of the staff members, he gets $70,000 a year, and he walks around taking pictures of her baking cookies. Cookies, I kid you not, right? And she pays out $2 million. I have a hard time even saying that because it's so bizarre. You got people that are starving to death in the city, and the restaurants are closed up, and so many businesses are closed. All the food trucks are gone, virtually. And she has a $2 million budget. $2 million, right? And I wonder what kind of person she is. Oh, here it is. You figure it out. She's co-chair of the Commission on Gender Equality. She leads the Democratic Violence Task Force, and she wants the New York to be the first city to ever join the United Nations Women's Safe Cities Global Initiative. And she doesn't like guns and so on. Kind of sounds like a Democrat, hey. Then you do a fast over to Canada, and you have the ethics commissioner there. I don't know why he even works, because he finds people are guilty, and he says they're guilty now, and it doesn't make any difference, right? There's no fines. It's like robbing a bank. You get caught and say, give us the money back, and we'll let you out. Oh, you can keep some for your expenses, Mr. Bank Robber, right? He's now found 9 other people, 9 senior officials, all liberals, who have committed various sins, and they've broken the law. And he says, I got him. Well, you can add that to your long list, okay? The Prime Minister of Canada has been captured numerous times, and he's still there, and he's still ripping everybody off. It just doesn't end. Barbados, Canada, listen up. Barbados wants to remove Britain's Queen Elizabeth as the head of state and become a republic, and get away from all the old British law stuff. Canada, you need to do that as well, because you know what? You're not a colony anymore. Stop acting like one, act like a republic. Americans spend $10 a month on toilet paper. Okay, if you recall, here in the last year, last 6 months, I guess, since the COVID started, it's more than that because they've stockpiled. You'll have little Johnny in the year 3030. It'll come down to the last roll that his great grandparents bought. But in any event, I guess Americans spend about $10 a month for toilet paper. So I have this idea because I'm here to help, right? I'm an economic advisor now. Are you with me? Here it comes. You take that $10 and you go to countries like Venezuela, where socialism is rampant, or Cuba, and you take that useless dollar bill of theirs and you buy it, okay? And guess what? That $10, for $10, you will buy 2 years worth of toilet paper. You can use their money. Hey, I'm here to help. Socialism has arrived. When you have a party and no one comes, guess what? When you're in a socialist country like Venezuela, that's because all your friends that used to come to your party, they all starved to death. They're dead now. I have one final thing. Okay, and this is maybe makes the show a little too long, but I gotta share it with you. Are you with me? This is about Canada. I had a moment the other day, and so I crafted a speech. I wrote it down. My mouth open, all these words came out, so I wrote them down. Here it is. Because the mouth thing I thought couldn't repeat it, right? I declare numerous and too many to mention grievances against the country of Canada, and I have documentation of the violations of the rights of Canadian citizens. These grievances cry out that Canadians are being governed by a crooked, unfair party system that excludes the representation and the representative voice of the citizens. It is a citizen's right and duty to cancel such a government that takes the rights, freedoms, and financial security of its people. I call upon the people to act. Now is the time for action. These are very dangerous times. The government acts as if they have a mandate to change our way of life. They do not. It is time to exercise the freedoms which belong to man and woman. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of self-protection, freedom of the press, freedom to assemble, and the freedom to grieve, and the freedom to call the government stupid, because they are. I ask all Canadians to participate in expressing your freedoms and to yell your grievances. The socialism you have tolerated is foreplay to the new and terrible world of communism. Profundity to end the day. Y'all come back. See ya.